Hello again, this is Robert Fanny from BeatsBase Studios, and today we are talking about the things you need to start a studio, a music production studio. Let's go straight into it. Number one, you will need a computer, and by computer I mean you can choose maybe to go the Windows way or the Mac. Like myself, I use a Mac. This is Mac Mini, but we have MacBook Pros, we have iMacs, we have Mac Pros. So we have a variety of the computers that you may use for music production. It's important to note that any computer can do this thing, but if you want convenience and if you want to work faster, if you want to work very smoothly, you will need, if it's for a PC or a Windows computer, you will need at least, let's say, 8 GB RAM, and it should be a Core i5 or let's say Core i3 or Core i7. I've been using Core 2 Dual for a long time with 6 GB of RAM, but if you install heavy plugins like Waves and others, it tends to slow down. It won't be smooth, and even the processing of the plugins and the running of the softwares will not be great, and it has of course given me a challenge. But if that's where your pocket goes up to, then it's okay. You can live with that. Core 2 Duo, 6 GB RAM, it can do. Then for the speed, maybe if it's a PC, at least let's say 1.8 gigahertz for the speed. And if you have an SSD, for those who do not know SSD, okay, I can talk about a little about it. SSDs are modern hard disk drives with flash storage. Like, it's a flash storage. It doesn't have the drive, the hard disk drive like the normal ones with something like a CD, and this is just a solid state disk, which is more faster, it's more reliable, it can't like crash anyhow like the HDDs. So it's good to have in your computer, especially the disk that is running your operating system, to be specific. Of course, this will speed up your computer, it will run smoothly, and go for the maybe at least 256 GBs for the SSD. If it's an HDD, as I said, it will give you trouble. Okay, another computer that you may want to use is a Mac. Macs, of course, they have been on the market for many years, and right now we have very many of them, and they have become more affordable than they were. You know, kitambo ilikuwa ngumu sana kupata Mac. Mwenye alikuwa na Mac alikuwa mtu ameomoka vibaya sana, but right now Macs are everywhere and it's easy to afford. Yeah, for a budget of as low as 30,000, you can get a good Mac, be it MacBook or iMac or Mac Mini. But it's a low spec. If you need a better one, maybe you may want to budget at least 50,000. You'll get a good one, maybe from 2012 or later. Yeah, and maybe for the RAM, it will be at least 8 GB. For mine, I'm using 16 GB unified RAM, and it's a Core i5 with an internal SSD. So it doesn't give me trouble. Yeah, so Macs for production, they are not like the best, but it depends with your preference. If you prefer Mac, then go for it. If you prefer PC, go for it. Yeah, so but as we said, make sure the RAM is at least 8 for Mac and at least 6 for PC. And of course, internal storage, as we said, make sure it is SSD, not HDD. Yeah, and you should have enough space to run the plugins. because plugins occupy a lot of space. And then number 2, you will need a DAW, a digital audio workstation, or a software to use during your production. Yeah, for example, on PC we have Cubase, we have Sonar, we have Pro Tools, we have Adobe Audition, though for Adobe Audition it's not as detailed as others like Sonar, Cubase. We have Ableton and many more. Those are just but a few. Then on Mac we also have Cubase, we have Pro Tools. We don't have a Sonar for Mac, but we also have Adobe Audition. We have, I'm not sure if you have an Audacity for Mac. Let me know in the comments. But there are many more programs. But the most widely used software or DAW for Mac is called Logic Pro. That I've used for many years, and it doesn't give me any trouble. It's easy to use. It has good sounds. Of course, there may not be sufficient. You'll always need third-party plugins to enhance your sound, or to have a bigger library for sounds and maybe your mixing plugins. Yeah, that's number 2. Then number 3, you'll need an audio interface or sound card, if you may call it, if you want. A sound card is like a mixer. Yeah, and of course, let me show you. This is a mixer. This is PV. It can also act as an audio interface, but it's a 4-channel mixer. Unfortunately, it's not multi-track. It's just 4 channels, but to the computer you can only see 2 channels. Yeah, I'll talk more about mixers and audio interfaces in another video, but these are mixer. If you don't have a sound card, you can always use a mixer. Yeah, then for the sound card, we have this one. I don't know if you can see. This is Behringer, but there are many. We have Focusrite, we have Avid, like the one I've used for many years, and it's just a matter of preference and your budget. Yeah, so but nowadays it's not really the gear that matter, but the skills, because we have many people that I know that have very cheap gear, sound cards, their computers, but they do very great work, very well mixed content, music, whatever. They are just good. They are good. The point is, you don't need flashy or very expensive gear to produce good music. That's the thing. Yeah, so an audio interface or sound card is a necessity. I'll tell you in another video the use of these, the mix and the sound card. Then another thing that you will need a MIDI controller or a keyboard. I'm using a Yamaha keyboard. That's Yamaha PSR S770, but you can always get a MIDI controller or even another keyboard that's bigger. Or you don't have to stick to this. It depends with your budget, but so long as it's a keyboard, then that's good to go. Then we'll also talk about the advantages of using a real keyboard and maybe a MIDI controller. There are always advantages and disadvantages, so I'll talk about that in another video. Then of course you need a desk like this one, where you can put your monitors, your sound card and everything. And of course music is something that is hard. It's not something that is seen, so you'll need a good monitoring system. For a beginner, we have many brands or many monitors that you can buy. So I'm talking about studio monitors. Like myself, I'm using the Yamaha HS8M. Yeah, so those are monitors. If you don't have a budget for monitors, maybe you may need a good set of headphones, perhaps. This is just an example, but it's good to have a good set of headphones to help you know what you are mixing. And of course, good headphones will give you will help you mix accurately. It's not like it will give you good mixes, but it will help you because it will be very transparent, no colors to the mix, like it will be straightforward. So I recommend good headphones, and I don't want to say this company is good. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Then after that, if you may want to record a voice or an acoustic instrument, you'll need a microphone. For this matter, myself, I use a Rode NT1A, yeah, which is a very nice microphone. This one comes with a pop filter, which is, the design is different from our normal pop filters, but you can always get an aftermarket one, yeah. But this one serves the purpose. Of course, we also need a mic stand. Yeah, this is a shock mount to help the mic to be more stable while being used or while in usage. Yeah, so we said computer, we said sound card, we've talked of keyboard, we've talked of monitoring system, which is studio monitors or headphones. Then we've also talked of the microphone. Other things that may come in handy maybe can be an headphone amplifier like the one I have, Behringer PowerPlay 8. Yeah, and some other companies have very good headphone amplifiers. Yeah, and you may also want to get a preamp system, maybe external processing gear, maybe an equalizer, compressor, blah blah blah. Those are the things that you may need, you may want to have later, but it's not a necessity. So long as you have the ones I mentioned, that is good. Then for our bonus, you also need cables. We have MIDI cables, we have USB cables, like digital, the one for the keyboard. Then we have XLR cables, we have jack cables, we have, of course, for the jack to jack, we have TR and TRS. We'll talk about those in another video. Also, it's important to do some acoustic proofing in our studio. Like for mine, as you can see, I just bought some low budget foam sheet and velvet, na nikaweka hivi kwa ukuta na counter. But we have ready-made acoustic panels that you can stick on your walls. Because if you don't do this, your room will be very hard to mix in and even to record in. There will be echo everywhere, and it will be, the sound will not be as tight as you may want. Yeah, so it's important to treat your room. Of course, don't forget to put a carpet on the floor to minimize noise, maybe things falling or vitu kama hizo. Yeah, that has been the necessities, the must-haves to start a music production studio or to begin music production. And I've been your host, Robert Fanny, and please subscribe, like, tell us what you want to know, and of course you can share with your friends. Stay tuned, because there are a lot of things we are going to talk about. We are going to talk about everything to do with the sound, the waves, the terminologies. We are also going to dig into live sound. I'm going to show you how to use a digital mixer. I'm going to show you how to mix a live sound. There's a lot that is on your way. Stay tuned. See you on the next one.